everybody. Recruiting Animal here on August 14th, 2024. That's the date, isn't it, everybody?
I got
it right? Yeah, I got it right on my own. That's a victory for me.
End the show while you're 100%.
Well, you know what? I was worried that I was headed into Joe Biden territory, and I don't have a Kamala Harris to take up.
You've got a Robert Kennedy hat. What are you talking about?
There you go. You got a camel hat and Robert
Does he wear like mine? Yeah.
Okay. Also,
Richie Rich showed up today, and he said he's got limited time. So maybe we'll do your ad after you leave.
The best.
Okay. And we've got Timmy K, the man who doesn't want to tell us how to pronounce his name. Unbelievable. Okay. Actually, he snuck it in last time. I heard him say it, but it escaped me, so I won't try it myself.
We've got to go out a few times, build our relationship. It's got to be,
Court Johan. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Okay, yeah, okay. Why not change it to Smith? Okay. Hey, look who's here, David M. Marr as well. He's probably up in heaven. Okay. Richie Rich, do you have anything you want to tell us before you've had a bad morning? You said.
Yeah, no, just tech hell, man. Just
no. This is the new saying. Whenever you say something to someone, they say, "Yeah, no." What does that mean?
It wasn't it was a bad morning for tech. It wasn't like, hey, there's something of value to share other than just a couple of disasters. That's all.
Okay. What about this? This recruiter said she won't use candidates who ask about money first. You call someone up. You say, "Hi, Billy. It's Richie Rich Rosen, and I want to talk to you about a position I'm working on. How much?" What do you say?
What are you looking for?
You tell me first. I'm not going to undersell myself, Rich. I don't even know you.
Yeah, that's great. But hey, listen, I got a lot of opportunities. Is it, is it really all about the money for you, or what's the real situation?
So you're not calling me about one
hang
job.
On. It's what's going on in your situation. You're getting into the whole conversation. Why, hey, I mean, is it just about the money? Is it about, is there a real reason you're looking? What's happening in your situation?
Who said I'm looking? Okay, you called me out of the blue. Okay,
yeah.
Let me ask you this: are you calling about a specific job, or you just want to chat?
Well, I love to chat, but yeah, listen, I've got a lot of different opportunities. I've been doing this for 30 years. So listen, it's I always get new opportunities in. I've got a great role right now that fits your background. You probably saw the email I sent you the day before. I'm probably a good person for you to know, for Christ's sake.
Well, you know what? Your emails are very brief, okay? So they don't really tell me too much. Hi, I'm Rich Rosen. Call me, okay? Yeah. That's why I didn't call you.
Some are more meat than others, and the longer you go in the email campaign, the more information you get.
Hey, so. Richie Rich, just let me, he said he's got to go fast, so I've got to roll him through the grinders before he leaves, okay? So you're not going to tell the person the money on any one job. Is that what you're saying? That's clear, isn't it, Timmy?
Listen, black and white. Listen, there's many of gray reason. Never say never. There's usually for me, if that's their only motivation for looking, it's not really exciting to me. But I'll tell them, listen, you can make $1 million. Depends how good you are.
Okay, you don't know what their motivation is at this point.
Not yet.
But they want to make sure. Listen, people. This was discussed at length. Okay, people say, "Why should I waste my time with this recruiter if the job is way outside of my needs?"
Which is a fair point. So you can just tell them, "Listen, I don't work on roles below $300,000. Some are higher, very few are ever lower."
But look, they'll say, "Look, that I'm giving. You might be willing to pay a lot more than I'm saying. I'm not going to undersell myself by going first."
Well, that's fantastic. I get paid on what you get. I'm not going to undersell you either. It's okay. But
then
listen,
why won't you tell me? Why won't you tell me? Why are you forcing me into the corner?
Because listen, if I tell you the role pays $200,000 and you're making $100,000, what does that do for you? I mean, you're not going to get $200,000.
Well, you probably won't want me if I'm only $100,000 anyway, right?
You never know. But
I don't know. I don't think Rich has made a good case here. What do you think, Tim? He's done really poorly. Okay.
No, I mean, look, Rich has been successful for years at doing this, and if that works for him, that's great. I mean, I'm not going to tell Rich he's wrong. I may have a different approach.
Lots of ways to do
You're
it.
wrong. Okay, yeah. What's
No,
your
it-
approach,
look,
Tim?
Look, you know, what I try to do is have a fairly transparent conversation, and I agree 100% with Rich that it's not really always about the money. Although we don't do this shit for free. I don't work for free. Do you work for free? Rich, do you work for free?
Absolutely not.
Nah. So it is about the money. And
But,
and
again,
but there's
but you-
context, right? And
Well,
so
that's
when everybody says
hang on,
post-
hang on, hang on. It all depends. If you're going to, if someone's coming at you like animals coming at you, it's basically go fuck yourself. All right, because that conversation's not going anywhere anyway. If
Yeah.
someone's like, hey, listen, I'm not really open, but I'm just curious. Hey, what's it pay? Yeah, listen. All right, we can have a conversation. It's all context. Animal likes to pin things down like it's yes or no, black or white, and this is why he's stuck in Canada.
You know what? Look how this guy projects on me. He says it's a fuck you conversation. No, his is a fuck you conversation. He's telling me go jump in the lake. I am not going to tell you some vital information. Okay,
It's not, but it's not. It's but what if I tell this guy pays 135 and he hangs up before I even get it out of my mouth? That hey,
he's not going to do that. There's no clue that he's just going to hang up. You're making a straw man argument.
oh good lord! You're-
I think I think it comes down to the attitude that you're getting on the phone, right? And you have to accept that you've called somebody out of the blue, you've interrupted their day. They probably get a dozen of these calls and they don't want to waste their time.
Yeah,
So, but I think that these people that run around and say, "Hey, post the salary and the job." Okay, great. Well, make them post their turnover rate, right? Like, tell me that. Because when they tell me that, when they say, "Well, what's it pay?" I'll go, "I'm happy to have a transparent conversation around that, but let's get to know each other." And because it's not about the pay, it's about the value.
What are you
And
saying?
I could give
First
you-
I thought
I could
you were
give you 100
disagreeing with Rich. Now
No,
you're coming around to his
no,
point of view.
no,
I mean,
I-
Rich, you put him on the defensive. He stopped you for a second. Now
No,
you're saying, well,
I'm
let's get to know each other first, okay?
I'm
David
gonna-
and Mar was blabbing away on the chat, which I can't follow. You want to tell us what they say up in heaven, Dave, about this? Well, now he's not answering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, sorry.
Yeah,
I might
that's
mute
a lot of
myself.
reading, Dave. Jesus Christ!
No. The first part was separate from the conversation. It was just something that I learned that I thought you guys would benefit from. It's a prompt you can put into ChatGPT that can help you when you're interviewing candidates on roles that you may not be as familiar with. And it's basically the whole prompt. You just basically copy and paste it, change the job title, and you're good to go. So I would say something like, "Hey, I work with many clients, and if you want me to represent you, help me help you. I'm paid by getting you placed, and the more you make, the more I make."
Thank you. That's great. It's a nicer version of what I said.
Yeah, he didn't say
Yeah.
anything either. Okay.
But
Dave,
if I told
there's
you
a
about it-
rejoinder. Let me
if-
take him apart, okay? But Dave, why won't you you want to help me? Why won't you tell me what you're paying?
Well, I'm a third-party recruiter, so I don't ultimately make the offer.
Don't they give you an idea what to search for? Okay, if I tell you I'm looking
They
for
give
$1
me the
million bucks, you're
criteria,
going to present
They
me to
give
the
me the
company.
qualifications, but ultimately the salary range that you get is going to be based upon a myriad of factors: your experience, how you interview, how your experience aligns with the requirements of the role, and how much you impress them with your capabilities and accomplishments.
Exactly. Animal, you can't pin someone down. If someone's only motivation, they're not going to talk to you unless you know the number. And you tell them, hey, listen, I can promise you it's in the range because I'm not wasting my time on some piddly search. All right. But I mean, the end of the day is let's see if it's even a fit, or if this isn't, what else is? Because
You know what?
you know,
I
let
think you
people know.
guys are putting the candidate on the defensive. You're saying I'm
No,
not
No,
transparent.
actually, we're not. What we're doing is we're assessing the candidates because ultimately every recruiter wants to represent A players, right? The top of the notch in their field. The B's and the C's, yeah, you can place on occasion, but the A players are who you want to place. So you want to get to know the A players, and if they're not willing to work with you or play ball, then they're a cowboy.
No,
they're an A player.
Amy, I'm going to quote Amy, who said she's made a lot of money placing B and C players.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's great.
Not every
Google-
company
Google and
needs A
Microsoft.
players.
Big fucking deal. All right. I
If
mean,
a third
I
party,
love me some
third-party
Amy
agency-
Miller, but she's got an easy brand.
exactly.
And
No,
it
no,
but
does-
she
that,
used to
that
work-
doesn't make her not awesome.
Yeah.
But that's like saying, "Hey, I'm the Coca-Cola dealer," right? And well, okay, you can place Coca-Cola in anywhere.
Can you place
Shouldn't.
No, no,
B&C
she
players?
used to work
Absolutely.
before she
But
was corporate. She
you're
was
not
an
gonna-
agency recruiter.
You're not going to lead with a B or C candidate. You're going to lead with the A players that you get from the job descriptions for the clients you have. Now, if it's a shitty client, just like the same, then you're not going to likely send your A players because they can't afford them anyway. So you're going to send the B and C squad.
Well, you shouldn't be working on it anyway. Is the point.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? It's a Hail Mary. It's low hanging fruit. You take who you got and you send them over, move on.
Well, that's it. Those are split deals. The B's and C's you give to people on split.
Here's the bottom line for me. If I've called them about a specific job and they want to talk about the money on the front end, I'm going to say, hey, my client has targeted a bottom end of X with a target of X plus, but that's not the high end. And you know, I don't really want to get into the high end because, you know, your resume doesn't match that or something. I'm going to give them some numbers. I am. That's me.
But it's
I'll
not,
be happy to give you some
you're not it's not-
idea.
you're not giving them the exact number. You're going to say, listen, I'm going to tell, listen, it's north. Like, you know, if you're calling someone, they're generally, you know, I know if I'm calling them, I know generally where they should be at. And I'm going to tell them, listen, it's going to be north of 300. It's probably going to be more than where you're at today. But listen, I don't know enough about what your situation is. And as Dave said, hey, listen, all's going to depend how you interview. If you
Right.
they'll blow their numbers out probably. But if you,
yeah, and I'm going to say, look, I don't know enough about you, and you don't know enough about my client to assess whether that number is a value, right?
Yeah,
like,
we've all had deals where, hey, we can pay you $1,000, we can pay you $1 million, you know, if you hit your quota, but no one ever hits their quota. To what Tim was saying earlier, no one's making their numbers. There's constant turnover. And who cares what they're paying you? You're never going to see.
yeah, I'm going to give you a 50% raise, but you're going to work for a total asshole.
Exactly.
Is that worth it?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it is, you know, because we all got to eat, and people, you know, to Tim
You
Sackett's
guys are,
point,
you know,
people
I'm
will
letting
put up
Tim,
with a
I
lot
cut
of
you
crap
off
for
before,
a lot
so
of
I'm letting
money.
you ramble now. You're going way off into left field. Okay, let's come back to the original question, and I have an answer for you guys, which I don't usually for this one, but I do now. Okay,
Oh, boy.
but no, and I'll give you that after. This
Telling-
this recruiter said she refuses to talk to somebody who insists on knowing the money, and it sounds like you guys agree with her. If this
No.
person, if they're like I was my
is a you use all these ultimate words. These always, never is refused. Nothing is 100%.
you came out very strongly struggling with this person. I am not going to give you them. I'm not going to give you the number. Okay.
But it's not always. There's never an always.
It's 99% of the time. I could tell from the way you were fighting with me. Okay.
Depends on who gives you the stats.
Exactly.
Here's the bottom line. If you're
anyway,
Give
if
Timmy
you're
a
an
chance.
asshole, I'm not going to work with you anyway.
Bingo.
Who
So
said
if
he
you
was
come
an
on as an
asshole?
asshole, I'm not
But
going to
you're
pursue
coming
you to a
the way
client
you
because you're going
started
to be
it.
an
You're an
asshole.
asshole.
No, not asking about it doesn't make you an asshole. How you ask about it makes you an asshole. So you can absolutely ask about it, and I'll entertain that conversation. But if you come on like an asshole, then I'm not going to represent you no matter what, because I don't want to place an asshole with my client.
It's the same guy that's like the asshole to the waiter at the restaurant.
There you go.
It's all in the tone of voice.
Okay. Heaven wanted to say something.
No, I was going to say it all boils down to how you present yourself. Most people are going to be open to a recruiter call. If they've had bad experiences, then you may have to do a little, defense to show that you're not that asshole recruiter. But once you win them over and you have a conversation with them, if it's not a fit, you can civilly come to that conclusion collectively. And if hey, they're busy where they're at and timing's horrible, then you move on and I'll keep you posted down the road.
Laying groundwork for future calls.
Exactly.
You know?
And future clients or candidates.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear that in the way you guys were saying. You guys clearly
Because you're too busy barking about how much money am I going to get paid.
that's the question here. She says I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk to anybody, and you guys seem to agree with her. It's no point in talking to somebody because look, Tim came up with this. Well, someone's an asshole. Who said he was an asshole? I just want to know if we're in the right ballpark money wise before I talk to you.
If they're not an asshole,
That doesn't make me an asshole, Tim. Wake up. I thought he was going to say, "Hey, y'all, I'm a Southern gentleman. Can't you hear it from my voice? I need you to be polite to me."
I'm in Fort Worth, so we're where the West begins.
There you go. Did you see the other post that people are talking about? The only, there's like for me, there's very few, if any, nevers, as you like to put everything, ultimate ultimatums on things. Is that one? Someone had that post about, would you take, what are they taking for fees? You see that one?
No.
Where they were talking about, all these recruiters came on like big tough guys. Oh, I never take a 20% fee. It's like, I haven't done less than 25% in 30 years or whatever, which I think is complete horseshit. I think, going below 20% for me is a no-go, but these recruiters that aren't always that great, they're telling me they've never taken a shitty fee with a shitty client. I find hard to believe that that's the case. Because I can tell you, I've taken plenty of 20% fees and made a lot of money doing it. But all these guys that were on there trying to be like these big cowboys, that they only take 30% fees, even in a horrible market, or only take, wouldn't work on anything less than X, But I just thought, you didn't see that post?
No, I didn't see it. I have noticed something though. Richie Rich is on some kind of charm offensive. He's leaving tons of comments, and I believe it's because he wants to get known since he's a coach. And I'm going to do an ad for him right now. Okay, Rich is teaching recruiters how to be great recruiters, and I gave him a hard time right now. I think he's wrong, but I still believe he's America's recruiter. He is a fantastic recruiter. I call him Super Rich lots of the time. Okay, he should have a big S on his T-shirt. Okay, now, and so he's willing to teach you. He's got two different options. Thursday morning, 8:45 Eastern time. He's got a group session where you sit around and mope together. That's not right. That's my joke. Okay, everybody, and it's confidential, by the way. Or you can do one-on-ones with him personally, and he always likes to mention that his mentor of sorts, to some extent, Trisha Tampkin is there with him in the group sessions, and you get to see some of her sessions as well as part of a package deal. Okay, but Rich I am right though. You are going out and putting your name out there because
actually, I've probably done it less than I usually do. But,
I know, buddy. Rich is here again.
I've always commented. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
With those groups, so you do get Trish in there, and she and I, we disagree on a lot of things on how to get it done. But so it makes it fun because you get 2 points of view to get to the same quality result.
Do you mind if I criticize something? I held back from criticizing you online this week, but if you don't want me to criticize you, I won't.
Fire away.
Rich, you posted on your own YouTube site a fantastic little speech that you make about 90 seconds long.
Yeah.
And yet you posted with it, instead of yourself, who's very appealing, as I keep saying, okay? You post some kind of standard, bland, business graphics of people shaking hands. That's garbage, okay?
Yeah, well, listen. That's Trish makes those for Trish.
Yeah, well, okay. But now here, I got to say something in Rich's defense. I'm doing this show, which I think is fantastic, and nobody watches. Nobody watches it. So don't listen to me, okay? When it comes to marketing yourself, do what they do. Do the opposite. Do the opposite.
I tell Trish, like, I don't like posting those things in Facebook about myself. I just feel weird about it.
I post about you all the time. You don't have to.
For me. I feel weird posting about myself.
Okay, but nobody sees my posts. Maybe they don't like me at LinkedIn because they don't get. Although I posted one by Tommy from June 26th this morning, and Dimple. Donna. Donna actually doesn't come anymore, but she posted there. I love Tommy. Okay, now you were talking about a person who's a cowboy. We got a real cowboy sitting here. And but let me first criticize our angel up in heaven. I ask you a question, and you throw in this stuff about what's it called? Chat CB, the prompts in the middle. I have to edit that out now. Don't you use your head, okay? I have to have a consistent conversation. Don't worry about it. You say, Dave, share with us again, though, so I can focus on that uniquely, if you don't mind. What were you telling us?
Yeah, so basically, so last week there was the AI Summit, and so during there I learned through one of the presenters that they've created all their own GPTs specifically for the recruiting industry, and it's very fascinating. If you take this prompt, which is they freely shared, and you change the job title to whatever it is that you're recruiting for, sales rep, etc., it'll give you, questions to ask the candidates and an understanding about how to go about answering the questions. So there's 3 parts to this prompt. So you'll see 1 and 2, and then 3 in a separate post. So if you literally just take them both together, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay, now I read that people who pay for the ChatGPT get much better results than people who use the free version. Is that true?
So I use the free version, but the people that made this, the reason why you might want to pay for ChatGPT is it's the only one that you can make your own GPTs for your own use cases. So some of the things you can do with it is, like, let's say you wanted to interview, I don't know, a historic figure like Albert Einstein or Abraham Lincoln or something, right? You can have it read everything and understand everything that they've ever done and ask it questions, and be very specific and basically make your use case. They had basically 70 GPTs that they created. And the use cases were for business development, for, doing initial research.
Was this Trish and Jason?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I have them. I mean, they're pretty excellent, to be honest with you.
Yeah. They did one on research, but I didn't catch that one. They didn't share it, but this one they shared. So I made sure to copy it. So this way.
See, that's like a backward ad for Rich. That's the same Trish who participates in his group session. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave, for reporting. If I have ADHD, one of the signs is when I go to those webinars, they put me to sleep. My eyes glazed over. Obviously,
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
That's why I do multiple things at the same time.
Yeah. That's like every recruiter. That's what you got to do it.
So what Angel there just said is that we can be a generalist recruiter because we've got ChatGPT to help us prep everything. We don't have to be niche.
Yeah, good luck. More general, the better.
Initially, at least.
Yeah.
But it's just tools to your toolbox, right? You're using.
You know what? If you go in with as a generalist and the guy, well, here's the question. Before Rich goes, I'd like to ask this. Where did I put it? You go in with a new client, and you want to do a half hour at least intake session, and he says, "What do you need a job description for? You know the field. Your title's enough for you." What are you going to say, Mr. Generalist? Or anyone who wants to answer that first.
Well, I mean, the generalists are horrible, but yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, generalists are horrible. There's no argument. There's no argument. It's nothing that's going to change that. But if a client's not going to give you the details, they're not a good client, because every job's got certain nuances. Right. You got to know about the company. You got to know about the story. You got to know about the why. You got to know about everything. I mean, there's so much to know about, more than just, hey, I need a rep in New York. What do you need to know? Why is someone going to quit their job and go here? What's so exciting about it?
So you're going to do that. You're going to take a 20% fee on that transactional client.
Yeah.
No, he said he's going to walk away from. I don't believe
I would
he
walk
would.
away from it. If they don't want to.
He doesn't do anything below 25.
Yeah, but okay. I get my 20s.
I believe he gets
every client is going to see this and ask you for 20 now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Here's my point. What I said.
They get a lot of money up front is what they do when they get to 20.
Okay, but here's what someone said. There's lots of questions you can't come up with on yourself, even if you know the field. And it's the one. Congratulations, Rich. You answered it. What is it about this position that would motivate someone to be considered who's super qualified, gainfully employed, well respected, and happy in their current position? Why would they want to make a move, and why would you be interested in that person, right? Yeah. So if you get an asshole client, is that a walk away? Anybody? Yeah,
absolutely. No, because listen, all the recruiters take every job under the sun. And listen, it's fine to take B's and C's and throw them on the back burner, and if you get lucky on them. But if you're going to actually go out and market a shitty client, you're going to get shitty reps, and you're going to get a shitty reputation. And then those people, when you have that A search, they're not going to take your call. They're not going to get back to you quickly, because they're going to be like, well, the last time this guy called me about this,
So what would you say to that person?
To the client?
Yeah, he says, Rich, you're a pro. You're bragging all the time. I saw your video about 27 years in the business, or 30, whatever it is. If you can't figure out what I'm looking for,
it's not about me figuring it out. It's about you being able to sell the candidate on it. It's about you being able to sell why someone's going to take this opportunity. I mean, just because I bring a guy to your doorstep doesn't mean the guy wants the job yet.
And so what is it? You're telling the client that right now he's demonstrating to you that he can't present the company. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Listen, my reputation goes both ways. I need it to be, you know, I
Rich,
need great reputation of clients.
Rich,
And
you're a
great
headhunter. I'm not going to treat you and the candidate the exact same way. Okay, this is a different relationship. Don't give me that bullshit. Okay.
But that's not how you treat me. Is exactly how you treat your candidates and your employees. And no one wants to work for an asshole.
Okay, you made it up. You made that up, Tim. What would you do? Walk
You know
away?
what? Seriously, wait. Literally, I'm getting like a t-shirt, some t-shirts made for like Cornerstone, and I had that on the back right now. Great reps don't work for a putz. So, and I got a 50-50 mix. People like that's good or bad. So I'm like, what do we think? Should I on the back? Great reps don't work for a putz. CornerstoneSearch.com.
I have another question, and yours is the only one of your famous sayings is the only one that I've ever heard that is good. But first, I want to ask Timmy if he would walk away. What would he say to that? Tim, you're a headhunter. You know, you've been in business in a director position or whatever it was for a zillion years. I should have to just give you the job title. I don't have to spend an hour with you wasting my time to fill you in on everything. What are you going to say?
I don't think you need to spend an hour, but you need to spend some time. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you're asking somebody to either you're going to offer them the opportunity to step up, which most of our clients don't want to hire somebody below what to train up. So they're going to want someone that's either in the role to make a lateral move, and that's got to have some value to it. If you want me to go find somebody that has X number of years and is in your industry and working for your competitor, which is what we hear, then you've got to give me some value to sell that to them. And if you can't do that, then I'm wasting my time. And I'm only paid if I place somebody. I'm not doing a lot of retained work yet.
Okay, so Mr. Client, Mr. Potential Client, if you're not spending time with me, I unfortunately I can't work this for you. Are we gonna hear those words from you? Are you gonna say goodbye?
You're going to charge them an asshole tax. You're going to charge them 30%, 33%. And listen, if the guy doesn't pay it, the guy doesn't want to pay that much, then he doesn't pay it. Then you don't work
if
with
they're
him.
not going to spend time with you on the phone initially to help you make their job easy, they're not going to get back to you when you submit a candidate. The same people that do that shit are the same people that you submit a candidate to, and you're following up a week later trying to find out what's going on. So eventually, guess what? I'm not going to work on that because I'm not going to submit a candidate
saying
that takes a week.
Example, like those famous gurus, people see how they came to pour tea, because if they poured tea very well, they knew that this person was enlightened. They did everything very well. So you guys are saying the opposite. If this guy's giving me a hard time with this, he's going to give me a hard time with everything. I don't know if that's true. Okay,
that's 100% true.
Dave, up there.
I think if there's a problem in the beginning, there's going to be a problem in the middle and a problem in the end.
As it starts, as it goes, as the saying goes.
As above, so below. As with me, so
here's
with
the deal.
candidate.
When you're starting out, your desire to take that client on is you're hungry and you want to take them on. And the biggest thing that can make you successful when you're first starting out is the ability to say no. Because you're going to end up wasting your time. You're going to ruin your reputation. You aren't out selling because you're trying to chase down somebody that hadn't responded to your calls. It's just not you need to learn to say no.
Taking the person on, saying, Bill, I'm going to tell you something. I want to work this position for you, but you seem like a resistant hiring manager, a resistant client. How am I going to know if you're pushing back on this, that you're going to give me feedback in a timely manner? You seem like someone who's uncooperative. Are you going to be a bad partner?
I wouldn't use uncooperative, but I'd say sounds like
he is uncooperative. Really, that's the exact word. I was saying to myself, well, I finally got it. He's uncooperative. Okay?
Yeah, but you can't tell people they're an asshole. I mean, you can.
Why not? You're walking away.
It's not going to do you very much good.
You
can find a way to say, look, it's important to me to have a client that can respond to candidates, and because my reputation is on the line too. And if you're so busy that you're not going to be able to work this job with me, then there's no sense in me doing it.
That's the exact same thing I said.
You gotta have a little self-pride.
You know, and as much as I want to eat, I'm better off going
not
out
gonna
and finding somebody that's gonna help me build my business by being responsive and appreciative of me.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to call them
You
names. You don't
sound
have
like
to
you're so
you don't have
you're
to
playing
judge them.
sensitive. Don't hurt my feelings, Billy. Okay, I'm a recruiter. I need to be treated well. No, Bill,
No,
smarten
that's-
up.
You absolutely do. This is, I mean, why would you not work? Why would you want to
Here,
work
the
for a
point is,
client?
look, if you're not going to work with me, you're not going to get what
So-
you want. It's not
so
what I
here's-
want.
You're
It's
answering
what
your
you
own
want,
question,
Billy.
though.
Here's the reality. Here's the reality. Recruiters are the perfect blend of the conflict between sales wanting to sell to everybody and operations having and wanting to only deliver to easy clients. Somewhere in there, you've got to take on tough clients that aren't the easiest, but there's a bell curve at which point they're a waste of your time and they're not a good client. And 80% of your, problems are going to come from those 20%. So get rid of them and go find good clients with the time that you're wasting, because guess what? They're not going to be happy.
But Tim, that's exactly the lesson right there. Is you should, the quicker you learn to walk away from a bad deal, the quicker you can make a lot of money.
Right. And
Most
the quicker
recruiters-
and
most recruiters-
along the way, if you learn that there are tougher clients that you can still be successful with and you can help grow and do okay, then you'll make money there too. You're not going to, just because they're not perfect and
Well-
ideal, you don't
Well,
say, well, they're an asshole, I'm not going to take them.
There's a difference between tough clients and obstinate clients. There's a big difference. Like, I've got a lot of tough clients who are extraordinarily particular, like
Right.
ridiculously particular. But I don't have any companies I would say are assholes. I mean, I've learned over the years, we've all taken, like you said, bad clients, and the sooner you learn that lesson, the sooner you can really make an impact.
I had a law firm I was working with the other day. I submitted a great candidate, everything they wanted. I told them going in, she wants 170K. They came back with 140. Like, I'm never going to work for that client again.
Yeah, a waste of time.
They wasted my time. They wasted the candidate's time. My candidate was pissed, and I'll never work for them. I've sent them an email and said, hey, I'm not going to do any more work for you. Our contract's canceled. Now you can be a source, because that's bullshit.
See, look,
I'll never work for that
talking
client
mild,
again.
but he's tough. He's tough as well. Okay, he's telling them they're jerks. Really, did you say you're going to be a source? That's what Tom says.
Yeah.
It's actually how I got them. I was emailing all their attorneys, and they said, hey, could you leave our attorneys alone? And I said, well, I
See, but
usually-
okay, now it's a perfect entree for me. With there's it was this crappy messaging. What's a crappy messaging? Okay, it's too long, and it's about what the recruiter wants, not what the candidate might want. And so I have to ask myself all the time, what does that mean? And Rich is the only one who ever came up with a line that really struck me. Yeah, this hits the point. Do you still want to work for that shitty boss? Okay, isn't that what you said in a subject line in an email?
It was, what was it? It's like, oh God, what was the email? Yeah, it was like, it's like you're tired of working for an asshole. That's what it was.
Yeah, okay, that says it all. Okay, do you want it's in his court. It's not like what's good for me. It's what's good for you, right? Otherwise, they say job ads should be punchy, candidate centric, persuasive summaries of why the job and the company are better than the one they have. I don't know what that means. What he said was real punchy. Now, he actually knew something about that company, so he was in a position to say that. But that really, it's the only thing that ever sticks out in my mind. And
Can we
people are
just
always
admit-
talking about it.
Can we admit nobody's reading your fucking job ad?
I got to say, you got to, if you no one.
But that's also in the messaging emails as well. Okay. Go ahead, Richie.
But if you put something like, I actually had, with the help of ChatGPT, right, I thought was a really cool job ad. I've gotten monster response from it. It didn't really give highlights about the job, but it was just about value. What is about, what you're doing, and how this is going to benefit you, your career, et cetera, et cetera. And, and then there's a little bit about the company in there. But it got enough response. It's all, man, that's what you're going for. but you got to make it short, sweet, and punchy, like you
Well,
said.
you better not post that online, because they're going to tell you you're not a real recruiter if you're posting jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
how
post,
does-
I post jobs all the time on LinkedIn in my own status. I don't put on jobs, but,
yeah, but
you know,
how does ChatGPT know
I
what's
prompted
going to
it
be
the
good
right way.
for
because
Mary
you
or
have to learn how to
Susie
write
or
it and prompt it and tell it what it needs to know.
yeah, but it doesn't know those individuals. Okay.
Listen, this was here. I'll find the email. It was a great email. Hang on, I gotta find it.
I want you guys to criticize me. I'm going to give you an example, but should we wait for you first?
Your choice. Hang on.
Hold on. It's telling me that my internet connection is unstable. Am I still here?
You're unstable. It's telling you you're unstable.
Yeah. Okay. If I can get free psychiatric care from my internet, that's fine. I need it. Okay.
Hang on. I haven't found it yet. So give me a
Okay.
sec.
Well, hold on. How about this? Here's what Amy says. Okay. Another guru. She says, if they ask me the money, I'll tell them it's not less than 140. She'll give the minimum. She won't give the maximum. Okay. But why not tell them, look, here's my range, what I'm looking for. I'll talk to anybody who's in the 140 to 200,000 range. That's what they're looking for. But I got to tell you, nobody's going to get an offer of $200,000. It's really unlikely. I will talk to somebody who's looking for 200. And if it's, some incredible match, I'll still try to send them out, but it's going to be very rare. So just because I'm giving you the top number, don't assume that's available. Okay. Is that reasonable to tell someone, maybe in a little less wordy fashion?
People do not hear what you say. They hear what they want to hear.
Exactly. If you tell them the high end, they hear the high end. That's all they're going to hear.
What if I make a little speech? The high end is, it's very hypothetical. They're not really looking to pay somebody that unless it's extraordinary.
Yeah, well, listen, everyone knows that going in. And honestly, I love Amy. I think she's fantastic. But listen,
she doesn't do that. Oh, no, she does. She gives a minimum. She doesn't tell them the
right. I
maximum.
know I'm saying, but again, doing anything with the FANG company it's a different world. It really is. She can argue with that all day long, and it's got its own challenges. Don't get me wrong, but recruiting for Google versus recruiting for, Joe's software shop, different world.
But I'm talking about something that's not.
But it's all.
I'm talking about give them. Well, this is my range. This is my working range. Okay. So if you tell me you're looking for 250, can't talk to you about this job. Okay.
But but then she says 140, and then so what? That guy may just say, you know what, I need 250. He may say that's too low for me and hang up. There's no perfect answer. There really isn't. You guys create this character who's gonna just quick to hang up on you. Okay. How many people hang up on you, Rich? Not many, I think. But sometimes you do. Sometimes I buff the call up. It happens.
I thought you tell them, hey, I fucked that call up. Let me do it again. Okay.
I do sometimes. It's like, oh Jesus, so sorry. That was horrible.
Dave, what do you think about my idea about giving them the full range that I'm working on and cautioning them that the high end is really not feasible?
I think I tend to agree with what Rich said, where if you tell them a certain number, they're going to hear the high end, and that's it.
You're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah. So what I typically do, if somebody's like adamant about having a range, then I'll say, the low end of the range, on up. And well, what are you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for competitive market rate or whatever they say. Okay, well, what are you basing your market rate data on? Oh, well, the job posting that I saw that the FANG companies pay, so I'm looking for 250K. Okay, well, we're not a FANG company, so the salary, our budget is, that's outside of our budget. Like, oh, okay, then I'm not interested.
Yeah, or you can just tell me, hey, listen, it's people generally, if the guy's been around for a while, they're stable. Listen, it's going to be north of 300, but at the end of the day, there's so much more to the opportunity than that. There's the fact that the culture here is fantastic. As Tim was saying, hey, listen, that people are making their numbers. People actually want to be here, is the difference. And listen, maybe it's not for you, but
my law firm has a history of people making partner. There may be equity in the future. right? It is
But they'll
not big
lowball you
law,
now. Is this
but
is
it's
this the
not
same
law.
company
It's
that
not small
lowballed
law.
her $30,000?
No, it's a different one.
Yeah, but listen, even the lowball, like Tableau was a huge client of mine, and they lowballed everyone. I placed like 50 people there probably, and they lowballed everyone, and dozens upon dozens upon dozens of those people walked away multi-millionaires because the culture. You got to be able to get them over the hurdle of, hey, listen, yeah, it's a little less, but you know what? You're going there for the big picture, for the long term, to be part of something bigger than yourself, to be part of something where you can actually learn and grow, have a career path. That's it makes it exciting that you're solving. You're still going someplace where you can solve a problem that other people can't solve.
And was your
And
client
that's
able
great if
to
you have
prove
that,
that?
if you can deliver that as a real value.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but how
if
do you
that-
prove it
you-
to them? How do you prove it? Was his client able to say, "Look, I can support those statements that you're going to grow, you're going to learn"? How do you prove that, Rich?
Well, listen, I mean, there's a leap of faith everyone takes, right? I mean, the end of the day, if you're going to a Series A, Series B company,
Yeah, but you don't want to be a sucker. The leap of faith is for suckers.
not for suckers, it's for risk takers and adventurers, people that actually want to do something with their life and not go work for Joe Schmo at IBM and be stuck in a corporate office all day long. It's for people that actually want to make something of themselves and take a chance in life.
and over time, if you've put multiple people into a company, you can say, look, I've put multiple people into this company.
Okay, that's a special condition. What we're talking about here, this is a unique situation.
Don't ruin the animal narrative.
You're trying to tell someone to
You're so
take.
new.
You're trying to tell someone to take less money than they want, right? And so you have to really make a good argument for that.
The argument is this: you're selling the people and the culture and the process of what they're going through.
Yeah, but vague terms mean nothing, Rich.
Listen, when you talk to people and they tell the story, like for me, I tell them how long I've been doing this, all the people I've made millionaires, all the people that we've been able to, help these businesses, we've been able to drive and grow. And you list them out and say, listen, this is one that, and I only say this when I truly want to. I'm trying to get equity in these companies. Some I can, some I don't. But the opportunity and the technology is unique. It's different. It adds value. It solves problems that no one else can solve right now. As a salesperson, you can go and crush it and selling these net new deals, going after these all hunter roles for the most part. Net new deals to companies that are solving pains they've been begging to fix for decades.
Okay.
They got to see the big picture, and that's what our job is to sell.
And the other thing is making sure that you hop in there and understand the other decision-making factors. Like, great, let's have that conversation about money. Now that we've had that, what are the other things that are going to make you say yes or no? Like I ask, and I mentioned this last time we talked, I ask every candidate, if I come to you with an offer, what are the top 3 factors you're going to use to decide to take a yes or a no?
Mm-hmm.
What is it going to take for you to say yes? What are those top 3 things?
What
And
do they
that way,
often say? What do they say?
Work-life balance and professional growth and culture. Very few of them put money in there. And of course, you're not dealing with somebody, at least for the roles I'm working on, I'm not dealing with people that are at the lower end of Maslow's hierarchy that are trying to make, $20 an hour so they can feed their family, right? Like I'm dealing with people that are making more money. And so they've got the opportunity that money isn't as important in that decision as these other factors. Yes, money plays a part in it. Yes, they want to know what the money's going to be. Yes, they have a target and feel that their skills are a marketable rate. But these other factors are key. And if you ask about those, then as you go through the process and you engage them after the interview, where I've got to call this lady in a minute and go, hey, how'd your interview go? Did you ask about your decision factors? How do you feel about them? If they came to you today with an offer, all things being equal, would you say yes? Great. So then all we got to do is make sure the money's right.
Okay, so
Have
you
you
coach them.
changed your
Wait a
target
second. You
based on the
coach them.
conversation?
You coach them to say, listen, candidate, you've listed your decision factors. Make sure you talk to them about them. You tell them that?
Yeah, I tell both sides that.
Okay.
That's why I'm giving it to you.
Okay,
So that you can dive into it. If they say culture, and we've made a little bit of a note about what they mean by that, because we ask, well, when you say culture, what do you mean, right? Then it's we give that to the hiring manager, so the hiring manager can not only delve into it, but also align against it. If the culture is, hey, I want a lot of flexibility and I want to be able to be empowered, but it's an associate role where they're not going to be, you need to have that conversation on the front end, right?
Okay,
And make
so
sure it's a fit.
hiring managers are notorious for not being expert interviewers. Do you tell the candidate with these decision factors, look, if the hiring manager is going off on a tangent, you say, listen, tell her or him, you know what, this is really interesting what we're talking about, but before the interview's over, I want to cover these points. Do you tell them to actually interrupt the interview and focus
No,
on?
I don't want them to interrupt an interview, but I do want them to try and broach those topics. And if they call me afterwards and I say, how did the interview go? Did you get a chance to talk about these things? And they say no, then I'm going to coach my hiring manager to try and do a better job. I've got a few different assets that I can email a company that's cradle to grave how to be a better interviewer.
Okay, but you don't tell the candidate to take charge of the interview at any point. Is that what you're saying?
I don't want my candidates taking charge of it. I do want my candidates doing
Hey guys,
the
I
things
gotta,
that,
but
all right, see you later, Rich.
Kevin, Rich, it was great. See you
Thanks,
later.
you
Boom,
guys.
boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
I do want my candidates, and I have some assets that I'll deliver to them, to do some research before, have a few questions about the industry and the market and the company, and then they can slide in their other questions that are, so they don't appear to just be money driven. They don't appear to just be benefits driven. They're not just, but you can ask about these things and it makes you seem interested. So it's building value and teaching you how to be a better candidate.
Okay. Dave, do you think that the candidate at some point should take control of the interview if the hiring manager or interviewer is not?
I think that what I always advise candidates to do is, they're interviewing the company just as much as the company's interviewing them, and that they really should do research on the company and who they're interviewing with, and know the intent of that round of the interview, and have some questions prepared for when they're given that opportunity in every interview. They're like, well, you have any questions for me?
Yeah, but what if the interview's gone on for 55 minutes and it's scheduled to be an hour long, and you've created this checklist of what Tim just called decision factors, and they haven't brought it up? Do you have any questions? There's 5 minutes. I've been with doctors who blab for a long time, and then they say at the last minute, got any questions? And there's no time for questions. Some the recruit, and there's no guarantee there's going to be a second interview. The candidate at some point has to say, look, I really would love to talk about these things with you before the interview's over. So I think that as you're interviewing or answering interviewing questions, it's appropriate to ask questions in between, because sometimes something will spark an idea or a thought process from you. And if you don't ask it, then you're not going to get that information for that very reason, like you just described, where you have 5 minutes left. So what I tell candidates to do is always have at least, like, if you only have 5 minutes and you have one question, you can ask them, what is that question? But try to integrate the other questions into the interview. Okay. My advice, and I've never.
The one question is, how much is the job pay? Because Amy only gave me the low end.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think that what Dave said, if there's a pause between the hiring manager's one topic and another, that might be a good time for the candidate to say, I have a few questions prepared. I was wondering if I could ask you about them now. So at the 30-minute mark, or whatever it is, or the 15-minute mark of a half an hour interview, there's going to be a chance to get those answered. Otherwise, they're going to have to come back to the recruiter and get those.
The job for the candidate is to try to get the job. The job for the hiring manager should be to assess that candidate and try, if they're the right person, to get them interested in the job.
No, Dave just said the opposite. Let me tell you.
Let me finish. Okay. Let me finish here. So as a candidate, I want them to be didactic and have a conversation. I want them to ask questions. What I don't want them to do is try and run the interview, because you are going to lose the hiring manager at that point. If you go in and start taking over that interview, you're going to not be successful. So Dave said, hey, as you answer this question, it's a good opportunity to give a question back. And that creates a conversation and a dialogue that actually lets both sides connect and understand each other. It's a great way to do it. But if you walk in there and go, hey, I've only got 30 minutes left and you got to answer my shit, or I'm, whatever, you're going to lose that opportunity.
Okay.
And
see,
and maybe
you
it
and
doesn't
Dave,
matter because they've not sold you on the role, and
you and
you're an
Dave
A
talked about two
player.
different things. You said that the job of the candidate is to get the job. Dave said the job of the candidate is to interview the company. Those are two different things, right?
No, they're the same thing. You can interview the company in a way that helps you get the job, or you, like we
Not if
talked
the
about a
hiring
lot of
manager
things,
is incompetent. And my statement,
then you
without proof
probably
here,
don't want that job.
no, that's not true. Not necessarily.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I don't. Do you want to work for incompetent
No,
people?
they're incompetent. No,
Maybe
not
you can.
incompetent.
Yeah,
They're
maybe
not
you want that
incompetent.
job
Don't
so
twist
you can
me.
take their job away from them because you're
They're not-
competent.
They're not incompetent in their profession. They're incompetent interviewers because that's not their job and they don't do it all the time, right? That's what we hear this all the time. Do I have to prove it?
Well, that's why we work with a client to understand how to be better at that. Our job, part of our job, is helping them be successful.
So you tell your hiring manager, listen, Susie, I want you to make sure to cover these points during this interview. Is that what you do, or do you say, listen, can you give me an idea?
During an intake, I would say, hey, why would somebody want to come work here? Hey, by the way, what are the things that you want us to ask about to make sure that we're sending you somebody that's a good use of your time? By the way, these are the things we will ask about, and we give them to you for this purpose. We're going to tell you what their decision-making factors are. That's your opportunity to dig in and dive in and make sure it's a good fit for you, right? And
this
that
is where
you
the
can
battle.
deliver those things.
We're running out of time. I just want to finish this battle. What you were talking about before is not information that you get in the intake session. It's what the candidates give you, their decision factors. Okay, so you don't know that. You have to call them.
But we're telling them we're going to get that information for them and why we're getting it and how they can use it. Hey,
Okay, so
I'm going to ask
before
about
I
these
send
decisions.
in Billy, I tell Susie, the hiring manager, look, this is what Billy's interested in. I really would like to make sure that you cover those things with him. Will you do that, or is that too pushy?
What I do is during an intake, I will say this is the information we're going to gather, and here's why we gather it and how you can use it. I'm not going to do that with every candidate I send over, right? If I have a chance to get feedback and meet and have a conversation about 3 or 4 candidates that we've submitted, great, we may go into that. But some of my clients, I'm sending over, for instance, a lawyer on Monday. I'm hoping they're getting back to me Monday afternoon to get that lawyer in that week. I'm not going to have a conversation. I'm going, yeah, hey, you're available on Thursday at 4 o'clock. Let me see if I can get the candidate. Like, I've already had the conversation.
Okay, you gave me an answer. I appreciate that. Dave, final word. Anything?
Nothing to add.
Okay, recruiting animal, you are so right. Okay, your questions were so astute, and Dave did a pretty good job since he's only been here twice handling them. Thanks, everybody. Timmy K. Okay, I still don't know how to say his name. David Enmar, the great, who goes to these boring webinars and brings the information back for us. And the ironic thing is, it's information given by Richie Rich's partner. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you guys later.